Oh man,
probably. But I mean, is it too late for a Van Damme Seagal film? I still think that no matter what they try to do, it's just I think it's gonna be ego is still in the way. I mean, Van Damme is over it. I can believe Van Damme's over it, but
yeah.
Seagal is just gonna be a tight ass about it, and you know, he's gonna still hold that grudge. He's just.
I don't think you'd be able to kill any of them off in the movie.
And no, it would. I mean, back in the late '90s, it would have been a great time to do it because you could have a great villain in there. But I just don't know.
You know, all I can say is Van Damme, he's still hanging in there. If Seagal drops the ego and gets back in shape, I can see hope. I still see hope for Van Damme.
Yeah.
That's half of it. But Seagal, it depends on Seagal. If he drops his ego and goes back in shape, I can see 100% pure hope. But right now, it's kind of half 50-50 with me. Right now Van Damme. I guess right now Van Damme is the hopeful guy in this one. I don't see hope for Seagal unless he. It's up to Seagal if he wants to change his ways.
They should do a reality show with Seagal and Van Damme.
That'd
be amazing. I would watch that.
It would definitely, because I mean, you look at Van Damme's reality show. There were some times where he broke down what's going to happen if you put him in the same room with Seagal. That's like, you know, that's the big elephant in the room because they would just be at each other's throats. I can just imagine.
Why do you hate me so much? Why do you hate me so much?
I will not lose this fight. Oh man, poor Seagal.
But lead to the next question. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys: is the Expendables fixable or truly expendable?
Straight to DVD. That's what I predict.
What?
Straight to DVD. That's what. Because they got three things going. They got Expendables. They got TV show going, and they got what? X4 without Stallone. I say straight to DVD.
How about that?
Netflix, DVD, and pirated.
You know, I loved the Expendables when it first came out. I still enjoy the second one, despite that there's some people that don't. I haven't seen Expendables 3 after what I heard. Of course, the PG-13 shit what happened. And of course, Deadpool kind of helped get over that. But the Expendables, I still have hope for it. But because there's some people say once you do a sequel to a popular movie, if you fuck it up, that's like the end. But don't forget, there have been some sequels after that have been good. It's like an up and down situation. You have sequels that are bad, and you have some sequels in that franchise that are good. It's like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. You have some are good, you have some that are bad. It's not some, and people treat it like it's the end of the world. And I don't mind them for thinking that way, but there are some hope if you bring in the right people and bring in the right script and stuff for it, and stuff about Stallone not being in it. I don't believe anything Stallone says much anymore because he says he's not going to do Rambo 5. He keeps going back and forth. Sometimes he does that stuff for publicity because he's nominated for an Oscar for Creed. So I think he's doing that just to keep his image good for the Oscar, so the Hollywood won't keep fucking with him and stuff like that. I don't know what's in Stallone's mind right now.
He's done it before.
He has a problem as well, but I will have hope for Expendables 4 if they do it right, bringing the right people. Go back strictly to what made the first film great. And I believe because of the success of Deadpool, it'll give some more opportunities for R-rated films, especially for Expendables. Maybe Expendables 4 will be a good redemption project for Stallone and for old school action heroes, of course.
You would think that Jason Statham would probably take over, right? As the new leader?
I can see Arnold taking over.
Yeah. I'd like to see them bring back Mickey Rourke.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, is it beer?
Yeah.
All right, give me one, because I need one when I talk about the Expendables.
Here you go.
And I don't drink beer.
I'll drink
but,
beer.
because, I mean, just thinking about this franchise makes me want to drink.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the first film I love. Yes, it's not perfect, but I still like the film. The second film, I still like the film, but I understand its problems with the humor, and the finale fight between Stallone and Van Damme could have been a classic.
Yeah.
And they just didn't. They dropped the ball.
It was supposed to be like a helicopter, right? Like a helicopter gag where he kills him on a helicopter.
That was Stallone's original idea. Was that he would Van Damme's getting away in a helicopter, and he attached it to, or he blew up with a rocket launcher, or something like that, where Van Damme's death would end in a helicopter explosion.
Mm-hmm.
But Van Damme's like, no, we gotta do it this way. Let's have a fight for the ages, which was not. It just there could have been so much more with that fight, and you could have had Van Damme have more of the upper hand in that.
Yeah.
But I think maybe Stallone had this, had a power play. Took a power play in that fight, and says, no, I'm Stallone. I'm gonna get more hand on Van Damme. But talking about the third film, they bring in this new cast of Ronda Rousey and Glenn Powell that I didn't give a shit about.
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas was annoying. The only thing I liked about the third film to me was Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I love Mel Gibson in that.
Yeah, I think he was a good villain. But it talks to Expendables 4 when you talk about that, and now they're saying that they don't want to, Stallone's not coming back. It just doesn't make it any much better. I know there's talks that, they want to get Hulk Hogan to play the villain. I'm like, really?
What kills me with the third one, even though they did the PG-13, at one point I was like, I could forgive that, but you know that scene in Expendables 2 when Arnold takes Terry Cruz's gun? He takes the sausage gun. And then in the third one, he shows up with Terry Cruz's gun on top of the building. And he's just blowing people away. And they don't fucking explode. And my heart shrank 2 sizes small after seeing that, because they just threw the essence of Expendables 1 and 2 right out the window. Or even the first one. They just threw it right out the window. Like, there was no blood and guts in that movie. They said they wanted to make it more realistic, but by not blowing people up with a gun that blows people up, that's not very realistic.
That's the problem that they keep bitching about this. I'm getting sick and tired of that realistic shit. I'm tired. It's a fucking movie. Have some fucking fun. I'm getting sick. That's why people complain about the first movie. I'm getting tired of that realism shit. It's a fucking movie. Enjoy yourself. And I haven't seen Expendables 3, but I've seen some clips. I just have one question. What the fuck was Kelsey Grammer doing in that fucking movie?
I don't know. I mean, because he took up the whole second act. It was just him and Stallone talking. I'm like, why is he having a conversation with Frazier? And you don't have, it's barely Dolph Lundgren. There's barely Jet Li. He shows up, in the final act?
Yeah, and in the first one, he's only there for, the first 15 minutes.
And you don't have these guys that I don't give a shit about. I mean, who the fuck is Glenn Powell?
Yeah.
And we gotta mention that guy from fucking Twilight, because I don't get why they put him in that movie. Of course, the only reason why Stallone put him in that movie because his daughters are fans of fucking Twilight.
And they have this whole conversation, you wonder the conversations that those two characters have, Stallone and the Twilight guy. You wonder if Stallone's I'm gonna give the franchise over to you after this, because they have these conversations you were just like me. I was where you were.
If that's the case, then this franchise is going to hell in a handbasket. I mean, it's just... and I know part of it, too, is that they wanted to go after the Fast Five crowd, which backfired. Because Expendables 3 didn't even do that well. It flopped. it doesn't help when you have a supporting cast of no names that you don't give a shit about. I mean, how many times? I know that Kurt Russell turned down the franchise, and there's been other people, but you still gonna have guys like Christopher Lambert. You still could have guys like Michael Jai White, Thomas Jane.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, too, if it was a money decision, because
don't forget
you look
Jeff
at the...
Speakman. Don't forget Jeff Speakman.
Yeah, definitely Jeff Speakman.
Yeah, Jeff Speakman.
But you wonder if it's a money thing, too, because as the movies progress, the big fights at the end get smaller. Like you were saying with Van Damme, half the size of the Steve Austin fight. And then the Mel Gibson fight is like half the size of the Van Damme fight. And they took out all the blood squibs, or I know in the second one they did CGI blood like Rambo, but it just kind of feels like it just got cheaper as it went, like almost like it was a money issue.
I think with the second film, I mean, it was Van Damme's idea to do the fight, but Stallone, like I said, he pulled a power play on that as far as like structuring the fight scene, and it just kind of it went out. What's the word? A whimper. I mean,
it wasn't epic. It just, you see, you have Stallone, you have Van Damme doing his classic kick, but it wasn't exciting. It was short. It wasn't epic enough. And I remember seeing the fight where Stallone had those chains. It sounded like he did out of Cobra when he was fighting the night slasher with the chains. That was 10 times better than what we see here. But it like Stallone, at least he apologized for Expendables. He came out and said that Expendables 3 was a miscalculation. At least he's admitting to his mistake. So maybe he'll come back in the fourth one and maybe he'll do it better. But I don't know. Because Stallone, he keeps going back and forth and back and forth, and I don't know where his mind is.
Like that fight, as soon as it gets interesting, it just goes slow after that.
I mean, him versus Mel Gibson at the end of the third film, okay, it would be more of a punch versus punch type fight, which that's fine, but even that's like 20 seconds.
Yeah, and I noticed like a little bit of Riggs in there. Just a little bit of Riggs, and I was like, man, I wish that would have been longer to see Mel Gibson go back to that fighting style.
Speaking of that, did you hear that crap about a Lethal Weapon reboot with Damon Wayans? Did you hear that bullshit?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Oh, we're definitely going to that. I want definitely going to that bullshit.
But Expendables 4, did Stallone say he was going to come back, or he's just not coming back?
I don't think he's coming back.
I think he keeps doing this stuff back and forth because he said he's retiring Rambo, but he was working on location for Rambo 5. It's like because of the Oscars, he's getting known for Creed. It's like he's trying to say all that just to keep so the Academy can get off his ass from the movie he's done and stuff like that. So Stallone, just be yourself, man. I mean, say what's really on your mind. Stop flip-flopping. Tell us what you're going to do. Enough of this. Please, stop with this back and forth bullshit. Tell us what do you want to do?
I think that's part of it, because like all the recognition he got for Creed is kind of like, now he's won a Golden Globe. And, it's kind of his mindset of what he's going to do next is kind of throwing everything up in the air.
Yeah.
He's nominated for the Oscar. He is nominated for the Oscar. I hope he wins because he deserves it, but still, enough with the flip-flopping, man. Just tell us what you're going to do.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to do next? I mean, is he coming for Creed 2?
This is funny because
he even said that Creed is his last Rocky movie. He even said that. I saw on the Facebook.
Ryan Coogler is up for Black Panther, right? So Stallone went ahead with the green light, and then this whole rumor comes out that even though it's Ryan Coogler's baby, they're handing it to a different director. And then like almost immediately after that, Sly says he's done with Rocky. It's the last time you're going to see Rocky on screen. When 5 months ago he was saying he's going to do like 4 more Rambos, 3 more Rockies,